Hey guys, and welcome to the Norwegian launch of the brand new Audi A6 e-tron. And in today's video, I have the new S6 e-tron Avant. So this is a very cool and exciting car. I don't have a lot of time. We're here at the Norwegian launch, and yeah, just a small window for making this video. So it's going to be a little bit rushed, but hopefully a little bit later I'm going to be able to make a proper, even more in-depth video. But in this video, I'm going to give you guys a full tour of the exterior and of the interior. I just want to ask you guys a very small favor before we set off this test, and that is subscribing to the channel. It takes you about a second and it's completely free, but it helps me out a whole bunch, because the car manufacturers, when they look at who they invite to events, to early drives, and to premieres, they look at the subscriber count. So the more subscribers I have, the more tests like this I'm going to be able to do in the future. And I really want to try to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of this month, by the end of October. And if I do that, I'm going to be able to go on a big road trip somewhere in Europe. Maybe I want to go to the LA Auto Show and test a whole bunch of cars in California. So I just want to ask you guys for that small favor. Please hit that subscribe button down below, because more than 80% of you watching these videos on a consistent basis aren't subscribed. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the support. 2 years ago, I went to the auto show in Munich and got to see the concept version of this car. And that car was very striking. It was, inside a box. We weren't allowed to get close to it. But from what I could see, it was very low, very modern, and very sleek. And I have to say that this production version here, though this is, not a proper car we could drive, this is just a prototype, it is very close. It may not be as low, it may not be as striking or as concept-y, but I think they've kept very close to that concept we saw a few years ago. And I have to say, in person, this is a lot prettier than it is in photos and in videos. So remember when they launched this summer, I was like, oh, maybe not sure, but I was reserving my judgment until I saw it, because I know with a lot of these cars that get launched, because of the lines and the creases and the proportions, video and photo don't always do them justice. And this is one of those cars. Maybe this isn't my favorite, this blue color. And I think, in a different spec with maybe different wheels, it is very, very striking. But I have to say, having the car here in person, it is very nice. I think it is a very attractive car. So this being built on the new PPE platform, which also underpins the Audi Q6 e-tron and the brand new Porsche Macan. It has, the same theme when it comes to the headlights, where you have a split DRL up top, and then you have the main headlight design down low. And like with the Audi Q6 e-tron, this glass here is actually darkened, kind of blends into this mask, this black area, and in the daytime it is hidden, giving this a very, low and striking wide look with these DRLs. So you have 8 different signatures with these DRLs, and you have the new Audi single frame. Unfortunately, from factory, at least when you order one, you can't have this in a different color. This is always the same color as the body. I had an e-tron GT about 3 years ago. That car was white with the black optics package, and that meant the grille was black. But as you can see here, there are actually no electronics here. Yes, you do have a camera here, but the sensors are down here for parking, and also you have the radar down low. So I don't think there's any problem if you want. Like if I bought one of these, I would probably, wrap this in a different color, maybe black, even maybe silver like you have with the details here, or you can have it painted. But because there are no electronics here, there's nothing stopping you. So this being the S6, it is a little bit different from a normal A6 in the front, especially you have, these silver details here in the grille down low here, and also for the mirrors. This is traditional Audi S models like the S3, S4, S5, S6, etc., going way back. And I have to say, I actually like, these satin silver details, though black, black details, black packages is very popular now in 2024. I think this is a little bit different. And especially when the car is a dark color, I think it gives a very nice contrast. So overall, the front end of the car is actually very attractive in my opinion. And this being a prototype, you can actually, there's a front here which is 27 liters. If you had a key on you, you could go like this, like with a Macan or like a Taycan, and it would actually pop up. But because this is a prototype, that isn't possible. So guys, let me know what you think down below about the front end of this new Audi S6 and A6 Avant. This new A6 e-tron actually is a little bit smaller, like a centimeter two, compared to the internal combustion engine of the A6, which we actually don't have here in Norway anymore. The whole Audi lineup here in Norway is fully electric except for the RS models like an RS6 and stuff like that. But I have to say, you know, this new A6 e-tron, especially in Avant from the side, from the profile, is a very nice design. And guys, like with my Volkswagen ID.7 GTX Tour video, please go out and buy something like this, because if you guys don't buy these station wagon versions, manufacturers are going to stop making these. And I think this is a very nice addition, because you may be thinking, like in 2024, an SUV is very popular. People want SUVs. But when it comes to an electric car, actually having a lower car, which is closer to the ground, is not only going to give it, you know, better driving dynamics, but also better efficiency, meaning more range. So this has the same battery pack as the Audi Q6 e-tron, but because it is lower, it has like 100 kilometers more range spec for spec when it comes to the WLTP. And you can see the battery pack here. This black cladding on the side indicates and shows where the battery pack is. So we're going to see how that affects, you know, the interior space afterwards, because this is lower, you have much shorter space to work in the vertical area. But I have to say, from this angle, I really like this Avant design. I haven't seen the Sportback yet, which, you know, gets that fastback rear sloping rear end, but I really do like a station wagon. I grew up on station wagons. When I grew up, we had several of these A6s. So, you know, for me, it's a little bit nostalgia being here and filming the electric version. So what's special about this station wagon version, the Avant version, is this piece of strip up here, which connects to the rear deck lid. So on a Sportback, that piece of trim goes down here and then connects back. So that's how you can see the differences from profile, except for, you know, of course, this being a station wagon version. Again, this is a prototype. Here we have a charging port. I believe this is the AC charging port, and on the other side you have the AC and DC. Here it says, please don't touch, can't touch that. But what's different from this and other Audis is that you actually have these door handles, which now go flush with the body. You only have like a hole here, and then you have a sensor behind here, which you can touch. On the on the Q6 and on the Q4, there's actually, you know, a body handle that comes out of the body, like on the e-tron GT. This has beautiful 21-inch wheels, but what you can't get with this is actually a roof rail like on the other Audi Q models. But you can still have like roof rail or bars here that connect into this track here. So I have to say, like, from the profile, I think I prefer this to something like the Sportback, because I really like that traditional station wagon shape. So this is the business end of the Avant, of course, it being a station wagon. And maybe this is actually my favorite angle of this new A6 S6 e-tron Avant. And this has a very nice light bar design that we, you know, first saw, of course, with the original Audi e-tron back in 2018. I was actually here at the launch like 6 years ago, October 22nd, like a little more than 6 years ago. So it's kind of deja vu being here and filming. And I think that car was Antigua blue, very close to this. This is a little bit more green. I'm going to put the name of the color on the screen because I can't remember. It's like yeah, I'm not going to even try, guys. So very nice rear light design with these 3D elements. This has OLED rear light details there with 8 different signatures like you have in the front. And also this is the first Audi with an illuminated rear badge. I think from this angle, really nice. Maybe it's a little bit more sloping than we had in earlier Audis, but that is, of course, because of aerodynamics. So this isn't as aerodynamic as that Sportback version with a 0.21 CD drag coefficient. This is a little bit less efficient at 0.24. So because we have this backdrop here, I'm going to do this handheld showing you guys the trunk because I can't get my tripod far enough. But here you can see the S6 badging there. Also those silver details down low. And this also has a trailer hitch with a 2.1 ton towing rate, which is awesome. I think that for a lot of people, that is very, very useful. So again, this is the business end of the Avant, having that station wagon. You have 502 liters up to, you know, the hip line here or the window line. There's a little bit of underfloor storage. This car is filled with stuff. Yeah, because again, this is like this is touring all around Norway. They're going to show this, and Does this work, this electric trailer hitch? Yeah, it actually does. Okay, and then you have to kick it into place. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then you could, and then you kick, okay. That's cool that that is fully working. So 502 liters behind the second row. If you fold down the rear seats, you have 1,422 liters. Kempower offers some of the best DC fast chargers in the world with their unique, sleek, and modern load balancing charging satellites. The small satellites translates to spacious and airy charging locations. When you as a user roll up to a Kempower charging station, you don't have to think about connecting to a charger that delivers the correct speed for your car. The Kempower load balancing chargers automatically will allocate the correct power to your car, maximizing the charging speed for the whole site. When connected, Kempower chargers have a QR code you can scan, and this way you can easily monitor your charging session remotely regardless of payment method. This is just super cool. A huge thanks to my friends at Kempower in Finland for sponsoring this video. So I think these door handles actually work really nice, having that button. You know, when Audi first, that e-tron back in the day was launched back in 2018, the door handles were electrically operated. So even though you pulled the physical handle, there was an electronic sensor and a switch. And sometimes if you were too quickly, it wouldn't release, you know, in sync. Having a button, it's always gonna release in sync. So I think that's a little bit more intuitive actually. So I'm gonna set this seat to my driving position, and we're also gonna, you know, check out the rear seats. So these seats are really nice. I really like this light colored leather contrasting to this dark interior with this dark gray trim on the dashboard, here on the center console, on the doors. I think, you know, this is the new design language we first saw with the Audi Q6 e-tron, but I think the execution here is just a little bit nicer. It feels a little bit more premium, a little bit more upscale, and it just feels a little bit more spacious in this direction, though headroom is a little bit limited. So I'm about, you know, 5'10", 5'11", 180 centimeters. And, you know, the seat is set all the way down now because I like to sit low. I wish it could go even lower because I still feel like I'm sitting a little bit high and close to the roof. And look at this, guys. Not the best headroom. I mean, it's fine, but you know, there's like this gap between the roof and the sun visor. So if you're sitting really high, you're just looking right into the sun visor. We've seen this with some of the Chinese electric cars, which are sedans, and that's because of the battery pack in the floor. I wish we could just get the seat a little bit lower, because I think if you're really tall, this may actually be an issue for you. And I don't feel like I'm sitting low enough like I want to in a sedan. But the rest of the interior, very familiar, the same, you know, design language this we first saw with the Audi Q6 e-tron. You have that new Panorama MMI infotainment system, which is Android based. It is very, very good. So overall, quality in general is very high, but you know, you have some cheap plastics like around the door handle, like you had with the Q6. You have, you know, this cover here. I don't understand why there's a cover there, why it has to look that cheap. And also it feels like the cabin is just a little bit wider. You have the same 3-spoke steering wheel, which is kind of round but also kind of flat. It works nicely. Not the nicest steering wheel, like I wish it was round up top here, but you have a volume knob over here, you have a few physical buttons. Overall, a nice interior, and I really like this light colored leather. So hopping into the rear of this A6. So this is where I was hoping when I first saw the launch of this car, where this was going to have an advantage over that Q6. And I have to say I am disappointed, because there isn't much more legroom here for rear passengers than you find in the Q4 e-tron or the Q6 e-tron. I actually think there's a little bit less. I think the wheelbase is the same, but I was hoping, because this was a longer car, that there would be more room dedicated to the rear seats. Again, this seat is set to my driving position. I'm 5'10", 5'11", you know, 180 centimeters, round about there, and there just isn't a lot of room. It's not spacious. I mean, it's fine. It's about the same size as like the BMW i5 Touring, but I just wish there was more space for rear passengers. I think something like a Mercedes EQE sedan is a lot more spacious in the rear. And because I've set the seat all the way down, there's basically no room for my feet. And because you're sitting lower, just look, I can put my hand all the way, you know, behind the middle of my thighs because you feel like you're sitting on the floor. I just don't have enough cushion here because the seat is low. Headroom though is very good, and the cabin feels wide. The floor is flat here in the middle, and even passengers here in the middle, adults, will be comfortable. So in that sense, you know, it's fine. I'm just a little bit disappointed that there's just not more legroom this way, because I thought that is where this car would have an advantage over that Q6. So there we go, guys. That was my very quick and short tour of this brand new Audi A6 Avant in the S6, guys. So here in Norway, there's a new model being launched next week, which is the A6 Avant Quattro, and that's the model I think is going to be the most popular. They've chosen to price it aggressively in Norway, and I think they've done that correctly, from 759,000 kroner, or about 70,000 euros. And I think that is very competitive. That's about the same price as an EQE sedan with all-wheel drive, and even cheaper than the BMW i5 Touring with all-wheel drive. And I think as a package, because you do get that big battery pack, you get the technology, you get the looks. For me at least, I think this is one of my favorite cars in this segment at this price point, and I think it hits the sweet spot. So if you're looking for a station wagon, or maybe an SUV, if you're looking for an SUV, I would highly recommend you guys to go check out this, because if you guys don't buy station wagons like this, or the brand new Volkswagen ID.7 GTX Tour, they're going to stop making these. And I think that is a pity, because with electric cars, I think we're going to get a little bit of a station wagon sedan resurgence. I love SUVs, but I think this is just more efficient. This makes a lot more sense. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.